Hey, Rainbow here, and guess what I got my hands on? A Ducati, ready for this? The Monster 950 Plus. Now, this 950 Plus replaces the 821 Stealth. It's lighter than the 821, okay? Now, as far as what we're looking at with this 950 has a 937 Tesla Stretta 11-degree L-twin, and it has the Desmo valves in it, the same one that you have in the Hypermotard and Supersport 950s, okay? It's going to put out about 110 horsepower, and it's going to be about 69 foot-pounds of torque, but that's at 6,500 RPM, so it seems to be really good for taking it on the road with local driving. All right, it's about 414 pounds, and it's lighter than the 821. Also has a little more nimbleness to it. All right. Seat height's about 32.2 inches, and so it's a little bit higher than the adjustability of the 821, and that's about it. So let's go down to Fort Lauderdale. We'll go to the Ducati dealer, Ducati Forza, and let's take a look at this new bike. Well, look at we have here a Ducati Monster 950 Plus, dual front disc Brembos, and we're going to take this thing for a spin to see how much we like it. I just got off of a Monster 821, and that's something that they're not going to make anymore. Felt a little clunky compared to this. This thing is extremely nimble, has multiple ride modes. With this particular bike, you are looking at 111 horsepower, and that's at about 9,250 RPM, and about 69 foot-pounds of torque, a little bit lower in the range at about 6,500 RPM. This is stock, factory, no changes, no additions to it. You can see I still have paper on the front wheel, so the front tires or rear tires aren't even scrubbed in yet. So we're going to have to take it easy with this one for a little bit since this isn't even scrubbed in. Anyway, all LEDs all the way around. It's a great looking bike. Let's take it for a spin and see what it looks like. All right, so first thing we're going to do, key up top, and we're in neutral. I've already set this thing. Now let's talk about that real quick. The turn indicator actually is what you will enter for your modes. So when you want to go and try a mode out, you're just going to push the center. It's going to enter your riding mode. You enter it again, and you use these buttons, this button right here for up and down as far as making all your adjustments. So let's get out of here since we really have no reason to have this here. All right, we're gonna go back. Let's go back, boom, and go back from here, enter, and from here go back and enter. So it's a little clunky, but it is workable. It is currently in touring mode for some reason. Let's go ahead and make that adjustment here. Riding mode, touring, we want sport, and that's it. Let's exit out of here and go back. All right, let's start her up. Right hand, we're in neutral. Bring it on down. And as you can see, the Ducati traction control, ABS, and Ducati wheel control are all set, and this is for sports mode. It's letting me know my side stand is down. All right, compared to the Multistrada, I literally feel like I'm sitting on the front wheel, but let's go take a look and see how it goes. Did I mention that there's a quick shifter both up and down for this Plus model? The dealer that I'm borrowing this from, which is Two Wheels World, Ducati Forza, out of Fort Lauderdale, technically in Pompano, They are only going to purchase the Plus because honestly there's literally like somewhere around a $300 difference between the regular Ducati 950 and the 950 Plus. So they decided we're just going to order the Pluses so that they're giving out a kind of a better quality bike. People have a little bit of a better experience. All right, looking good. And this is already feeling better than the 821, and I'm going to tell you why. The 821 needed a clutch adjustment. You cannot ride the 821 that I had because with two fingers you couldn't close the clutch enough, so it needed a clutch adjustment. So I actually stalled that thing out twice just getting on it because it was already in gear when I went to go click it down. It just ridiculous. But this feels very nimble bike. Love the feel of it, as you can see. Short wheelbase, a lot of power. Now you're going to ask, what does this compete with? Well, most of you already know what this bike is going to compete with. This is a direct competitor for sure. I say the first one is going to be the MT-09, all right? Because you're looking at all very similar specs for the MT-09. And the next one, after the MT-09, believe it or not, is going to be the KTM 790 Duke. That is going to be another bike that is certainly going to compete with this one, and they're going to compete with each other. One other bike that may or may not be a surprise to you is going to be the Street Triple. So I think that this is going to compete with the Triumph Street Triple, and in typical Ducati fashion, I just can't seem to get this bike in the neutral. There we go. I will tell you, with every Ducati that I've ridden, it just seems like getting into neutral is always a bit of an issue. Pretty smooth, really good handling, really good acceleration. Now, you know, coming from 170 horsepower multi-strada to drive down here and hopping onto this, you certainly feel the difference in that. But this is absolutely a fun bike, other than the fact, there we go, hey, I got into neutral. Let's give myself a round of applause for getting this into neutral. There we go. Let me lift this up so I don't have that damn echo. All right, now controls are pretty straightforward. All right, you have your flashers here to turn, when I say flashers, turn on and off your high beam to flash at people. Normal high beams, low beams, and turn indicators. So when you have your turn indicators when you're riding, it's just going to reset and it won't go into any of the modes to change the setting. Okay, but when you're stopped and you press this, what it's going to do is it's going to put you into the road mode. Okay, it has a crappy little horn, flashers over here, and low beams on the right hand grip. It's a relatively comfortable bike. I will tell you that it's not mid controls. They are rear controls. They're not as aggressive as a sport bike. I find myself in, I guess you can call it like a semi-sport bike position right now, and it's actually comfortable. Now, for a 56-year-old guy, I gotta admit, it's a pretty comfortable bike. Now, could I do long trips on this thing? Yeah, probably not. Because of the position, and it's more of the leaning forward. It's really not the legs, it's more about the leaning forward where I'm having some of the issues here. Oh, well, that's a good one. I guess he wanted to go there. Yay! Okay. Good acceleration. Feels very comfortable. It gives you a lot of confidence. The mirrors on like any other sport bike, when you come to a stop sign or a stoplight and you sit up, you can't really see anything. You have to be in position to see in your mirrors a wee bit better. The upshift and downshift quick shifters seem to work really well. Handlebar position, it's a bit on the narrow side, but it's a small, narrow bike. But I do have to tell you that this is absolutely a fun bike. 100% fun bike. No argument there on this one. You did see that I am in sport mode. I'm coming up to a stoplight here. Alright, let's see how the downshifting engine braking is. Pretty good. Can't complain about that. Alright. Seems like there's a decent range. I'm getting blown away here by a little scooter. So the seat height is pretty darn comfortable. I can easily flat foot on this bike at intersections. I'm 5'11" and, well, let's just say 5'11". I used to be 5'11" and a half. That's a long story. I'm getting older. Anyway, 5'11". Here's the important part. I have a 32-inch inseam. So I buy 32-inch by 32-inch jeans, and with the 32-inch inseam, I could easily flat foot this bike. Now, as I tuck my legs in a little tighter, I can definitely feel that there's some heat there that I didn't feel yet. Of course, I didn't spend a lot of time at stoplights, and I will be doing that shortly, so we will be taking a look. Let's try the kind of a quick stopping thing here. Make sure the idiots behind me don't. Alright, I'm good. Alright, so like I said, I'm sitting here flat-footed with some bend in my knees, if you can see any of that. No problems, easy to handle. Great acceleration, feels very stable. It doesn't have any, as you can see, it's very, very stable with the gyroscopic effect here, and there's no cruise control on this particular bike, and I don't think this is the kind of bike that's designed for cruise control, because I think this is more of your daily commuter, you know, bumping around and having fun bike. That's what I think this is. It's the... Hey! First shot, I got it into neutral. Yay! Alright, another happy clap for me. Alright, so because this is such a narrow bike, you really don't have a great view behind you, to be quite honest with you. It needs some serious adjustment here in order to see behind you. You can see the other lane pretty well, but a good view behind you is, you're not going to have that, and that's a problem really with any relatively narrow bike. Alright, yay! Neutral 3 times in a row. Alright. Okay, well, it says casino and racing, so I guess I can race. Alright, maybe not. Alright. Maybe not. Let's check out the turning radius here. Oh, it's pretty good. Real easy, small bike. I probably could have turned it easier with the multi-strada because I'm so used to it. I gotta tell you, I like this bike. I wouldn't mind having one of these for beating around, honestly. I wonder if you could turn something like this into a track bike. I wonder what kind of lean angle you can get with a bike like this. I wonder. I really can't push it because the tires aren't scrubbed in, because as this is a brand new bike. And the low end torque is pretty good here. Now I believe this is 937 cc's. and it is an L twin. It does have the Desmodici valves. Very nimble, very nimble bike. Very short wheelbase on this. This feels good. This is a fun bike. This is a great little commuting bike. Anybody coming? All right, looking good. Oh, it has some torque, my friend. This definitely has some torque. This has some get up and go when you get up in that upper rev range. I will tell you that this is a rather impressive bike. So I didn't want to make this an all-day affair. It's a quick little jaunt on this thing. Very smooth bike, very flickable, very easy to ride. So would I consider this bike? Would I consider this bike a beginner bike or an intermediate? Honestly, I think it really hits all three. I don't see any reason why someone can't start off with a bike like this if they have a reasonable head on their shoulders, sir. And I also believe that someone in just about any experience range would really enjoy this bike, like really truly enjoy this bike. This is a fun bike. So with that being said, let's bring her home, try to find neutral again. Oh man, and call it and call it a day with this Ducati Monster 950.